Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om, I bow to the Lord Vasudeva. Joy to you, friends. I'd like to continue reading from the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We were on the passage where Arjuna is saying to Krishna that with the loss of religion, the women of the family, that is to say the devotee's feeling quality, may lose its coherence and descend to a chaos of confusion through emotions and so on. Then he makes a very interesting statement. From there, intermixture of the varnas or castes cannot but be the outcome. Now, the caste system and why it cannot but be the outcome, this is quite an interesting subject. When people don't have proper feeling of compassion and love, then they tend to separate people and view them, judge them in categories. They typify people. And so the caste system of India, which is a very ancient system, it's become the curse of the country. As my guru said, every country has its own misery-making karma. As America has had the misery-making karma of having prejudice against blacks and against Indians. And thank God now we have a black president. How good he will do for the country, I don't know, but I like him as a man. And it shows that America is beginning finally to realize that we are all equal in God. There's no difference. Color of the skin is nothing at all. I mean, if I were to paint my skin blue, would I be really blue-skinned? It's just a paint over your nature. So your color is not your true caste. Your true caste, and this is what makes the caste system in India much more pernicious. Originally, it was a wonderful system, and it is a wonderful system if it's really to be understood correctly. But the caste system is intended to show you a way of arising toward greater and greater freedom from ego. And instead, it's been made an instrument of suppression. And the reason for that suppression is because the feeling quality is lasting. You think you can remove yourself and your identity from other people and think of them as less than you. And then it becomes a curse. But the caste system originally was that when the soul comes into the human body, it comes in the lower form, and its memories are more animal. And so it's thinking more in terms of its physical body, physical work. The Shudras, which are the lowest caste are usually identified as farmers and people like that. But of course, there are many saintly farmers and many highly cultured farmers, so that's not a true category. It was not a social system really at all. In fact, in those days, society was much more sophisticated and complex than having just farmers, merchants, warriors, and priests. But they typified this quality in human nature. The Shudra is that sort of person who thinks more with his body than with his brain. Then as he begins to find that he has a body, has a brain, and can think intelligently, his first thought is to think about what gain for myself. So he's typified as a Vaishya, a merchant, a Paka Banya, you might say, somebody who is able to cheat anybody to get what he wants. This is the typical merchant. And the Shudra is told to try to develop his thinking. And so the step above that is somebody who uses his brain, but uses it for ego-serving purposes. Then gradually he begins to learn over many incarnations that he's happier when he shares what he has with other people than when he takes from them. He's happier when he is truthful to other people than when he's cheating them. And so gradually he develops that quality which is known as Kshatriya. A Kshatriya is typified as a warrior, but in fact, the purpose of a warrior, he's used as the symbol of this caste because he's somebody who doesn't think in terms of his own life even. His duty is, if necessary, to surrender his life for the protection of his home and family and nation. And so a warrior is symbolic of that kind of person who thinks in terms of not what do I want, what's in it for me, like that Charlotte's Web movie, What's in it for me, Charlotte? The rat, that's his sort of mantra, you might say. But somebody reaches the point of refinement in his soul where he begins to see, well, what's in it for me is that if other people are happy, I'm happier. And again, to repeat the words of Jesus, blessed, it is more blessed to give than to receive. You feel more blissful when you can expand your sense of ego identity to include the well-being of others and their happiness. And when you can see other people happy, you're much happier. But mafioso types and people who think in terms of selfish gain, and the Vaishya types, really, they think that they're happy if other people are deprived of what they get. They feel that they've gained when they cheat somebody of money. Well, that isn't so. You lose too. The law of karma is very exacting, but bit by bit you learn your lesson, and it takes perhaps a long time, and that's why it's terrible to think that God will punish you for the mistakes of one life. You're in school. You've got grades to pass through. It's going to take you time to graduate, but understand that there is an upward direction, so that and the wonderful thing about this system is that when you're thinking in terms of personal gain, if you don't have that direction, you think, well, I can get what I want this way, I can get what I want that way, I can get it through fame, I can get it through power, I can get it through excitement. All this is Vaishya consciousness. And the direction always is toward giving up the ego and thinking in terms of the well-being of others. A Kshatriya doesn't have to be a warrior. He doesn't have to be a political leader. He can be somebody in a village just living a very humble life. But if he thinks in terms of helping people, then he is a true Kshatriya. But as you help people, many people, their whole ideal is to help others to help the world by saving the trees, for example. There's so much more to do for this planet than saving the trees. They think that if they help the orphans, they're going to do a good thing, and they are doing a good thing. If they start schools, they're doing a good thing. But finally you realize that if what people are all looking for is Satchidananda, that inner bliss, then the greatest thing you can do for others is to help them to find bliss. And so you become a Brahmin. A Brahmin is somebody who thinks not just a priest who utters lots of mantras and so on. No. A Brahmin is a type of person who thinks that I want to be a channel for God so that God can use me to inspire other people. And how much more wonderful it will be for you. When you were born, everybody laughed happily and welcomed you. You yourself cried. When you die, wouldn't it be much nicer if all the other people weep to see you go, and only you are laughing because you're going up into the joy of God? This is the goal of life. Be an inspiration to other people. Whatever feeling that you have of joy, share it with other people. Whatever feeling you have of love, share it with other people. Whatever feeling you have of beauty or transcendent wisdom or anything, share what you have with people. Don't hold it under a bushel. Jesus said, don't hide your light under a bushel. Let other people know. Don't impose it on them. But you know, even when walking down the street and you see somebody with sad eyes, a smile can change his whole day. Think of it. Even strangers you can be a blessing to them. If you really feel that God is in them, everybody's looking for the same bliss. Share that bliss with everyone. Joy to you.